Hello everybody, welcome back to the next part of our series, and in this part we're going to make this page here. It's got a fold out journaling spot with a magnet in it, and then just a couple of tags to go in one of the postcard pockets on the front, and I've added a cutout here, just some of the toys from the paper. Normally I do lots of cutting out from the Graphic 45 papers, but I haven't really through this album, so I have added a cutout here and quite liked it. So let me take you through what we're going to need for this page. We're using the next, or the opposite side of the paper bag that we've just been working on in our previous part. I've put the paper onto it, stripy paper, and I've already cut out the semicircle at the top where we're going to put our photo mats at the end. Just going to ink that cut edge, and onto that we're going to build the page up with a book. Just opens like that. There are two magnets in here, and that just holds the book closed neatly, and I've already stuck those on so that they hide or are hidden under the journaling spots that we're going to put on to this book. So sizes for this are 11 3/4 by 3 3/4, just cut out of card or cardstock. And then I've used my corner chomper just around the corners, and I've also put 2 holes for a ribbon in the top flap of this book. So let's build that up. First of all, I'm going to put the photo mats inside, and I've cut those out. Let me give you the sizes for the photo mats. They are 5.5 by 3 3/4. Got my ruler handy, I'm having a problem remembering dimensions today. And then one of them is cut 1/4 inch shorter so that it doesn't cover the holes that I've cut to put the ribbon through. So let's just stick those down. So I've stuck those down, and then I'm going to use my holly mask just to add a bit of detail to the pages. So I'm just using my ink stamper and just lightly pressing over the mask. What should we have? Let's have that one across there. Just to give a hint of holly leaves. You can use a cut-out holly leaf shape to do this. Just hold it down when you're masking over the top. You don't have to have all of these masks to get a similar effect. Oop, that's moved. And there it is, just a hint of holly leaves around the edge. And then lastly, to finish off the inside, I'm just going to thread some seam binding through the 2 holes that I'd cut. I've done those with my crocodile, just in from the edge. Now, which way shall I go? Let's go. Let's turn it over and go in that way. I should have a hair clip to do this, really. or a hook or a... Right, hold on. Right, all threaded through and the bow has been tied. So that's our little book. Next, for the front of that, I've cut out one of the pictures from the paper, and I used my X-Cuts thin dies, one of the scallop shapes, to cut that out so that it fitted on the front of the book. So now we're going to stick that down. I have inked the edges. Oh, and now the glue's not going to work. Just a little bit around the edges, a little bit across the middle, and then work it to the very edge of the paper to stop those edges curling up later on. We don't need to have too much on it. Okay, and then stick that down. Just to finish off the cover, and now we're going to build up the rest of the page. Let's zoom in a bit, that's looking a bit tiny. Okay, so let's bring the page back, make sure we're working on the right way up. The next thing I did was to actually stick that down onto the page before putting on a little postcard I've cut from the paper. Let's move it into the middle, sorry. And I've cut a hymn sheet out, one of the carol sheets, and backed that with cream paper and just cut the corners to give it a tag finish. And then I've cut a smaller tag out, which is 2 1/4 inches by 3 inches out of the holly paper, and then a journaling spot for the back of that. So we're going to put all of these together now. So first of all we'll stick this down, and I'm going to use my double-sided tape. Which way is it going to go? And I'm going to tape the bottom and the side with the bow on, and I'm going to leave the other 2 sides unstuck, and then we can put something behind that if we want to. So let's just take the backing tape off. Check I've stuck the right sides. Okay, and I'm going to stick that at an angle again, just so that it's just sits on the bag at the bottom and just sits on the bag at the top. Let's open it up and just press that down. Next I'm going to add the postcard. This is a pocket postcard. So I've put tape on the outside edge and the bottom edge, and let's just peel that off and stick it down. Okay, so that's, I'm just going to leave a border of the paper around it. So stick that one down. And then our hymn sheet fits very nicely behind that. I'm just going to finish that off with an eyelet, so let's make a hole with my crocodile. I love this tool. I had the corner chompers, the We Are Memory Keepers corner chompers for Christmas from the boys. They always get me something to craft with, and I love them, really love them. No effort involved. Okay, so I'm just going to put an eyelet on the front there, one on the back from my eyelet stash, hole reinforcers I should call them really. Okay, bit of glue on there, one on the back, a little bit of seam binding through that. It will go through this time, she says, yes. All the tags have just got the seam binding just tied, because all of the photo mats have got bows on. And you probably know I'm not a real fussy person, so I try to keep things as simple as possible, and also consistent as well. Okay, so that one sits in there. And the other little tag, as I said, I've got a photo mat for that one, so let's stick that down. Again, I'm just starting to make tags out of scraps of paper, and I keep every bit of cut off, thinking I can make something out of it, and it's only when I get to the end and finish the album that I throw all of the tiny bits away, and then keep anything that I feel I can make something else from. Okay, so let's just put an eyelet, but I'm sure you do the same as well. I can't be the only person that does that. So, hole in there, hole reinforcers on. That one on there. Let's do the other side. That on there. And then just thread a bit of seam binding through. Tie it. Oh no, that's not going to tie. Okay. Trim that down. Trim that side. And there's another little tag just to slot under there. The magnet will still hold down through all of that as well, which is brilliant. Or you can put another tag behind there, or tags, or whatever you want to add. The original tag here, I had used one of my Stampin' Up! Rounded tab cutouts, but thought I'd do a ribbon and an eyelet on this one. And then I'd cut one of the little dolls out, and I'm just going to add her on the corner there. And then that's this page finished. Let's just stick her down. So I hope you've been inspired, and if you want to respond to this video with the album that you've made, I'd love to see what you've done. Because we all take the same paper pads and do something really different with them, and it's lovely to see the variety of people's ideas. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and I'll be back shortly with the next part of our series.